This 3-cent report takes 3 minutes to generate and can get you client leads who already know they have a problem and they want your help fixing it. Everybody's already using manual web browser AI prompts. Stop creating PDF checklists that nobody reads. The same way that you created them is the same tool that they're using with AI to generate whatever information they're looking for. What you're going to do instead is you're going to drop a shortcode in your WordPress website and you're going to let client leads look up their own businesses or that of their competitors and run a live check on that business within 3 minutes. And yes, 3 minutes for anything on the web browser to do something does feel like a long time. But compare those 3 minutes of looking at the business, going through the Google page, reading reviews, eyeballing the photos, going through another tool with web page. Did you hear how boring those 30 minutes were about to be? Anyway, what I want to show you instead is to create a checklist that is specific and authentic and transparent and time sensitive to that specific business. And by the end of this video, you're going to learn how. Again, if you don't remember how to do this, go to the description and I have a link to the first video when I show you how to install and set up the plugin. But anyway, let's go straight into the settings so that we can copy our shortcode. I've copied it. I'm going to go and create a new page. And let's see, let's go after dentist. So we're gonna go here. After we put in our title, we're gonna paste the short code. Gutenberg already recognizes that it's a short code widget, so I'm just going to publish that. And then I'm going to view that page. And then this is going to be the general page that you're going to be driving traffic to. And this is where your dentist leads are going to be generating the reports. Of course, it's not going to be just dentists. This is with the understanding that it's a concentrated effort that the people that you're trying to get to are going to be dentists in your area. So I actually don't know any dentists in this area. Wow, that's embarrassing. All right, so let's see. Dentist near me. All right, let's go. Let's grab someone who is not showing up at the top. Let's see how well this works in understanding to see if there really is a glaring pain point and why they're showing up farther down. This person doesn't have a website. I can see they have three excellent reviews. So Dr. Tiz, oh, you did show up. All right. So now while we're trying to gather some insights on this, I do not expect for the webpage speed insights to show up because we did not detect a website when we were looking at it manually. And it's just going to say, we have no idea what's going on here. So you're more than welcome to do a manual check and double check to see if we didn't miss anything. And so this way, this is another opportunity gap that you can showcase that they only have one picture, only a phone number. Might be enough for some people. I don't know. I'm not very familiar with the dentist marketing scene in the Washington, D.C. area. But yeah, like we saw, no website was found. It's a critical business asset that is missing. So this would be a perfect opportunity for you to be able to approach this prospect, or at least this is why you're showing up all the way at the bottom. And it has a score of 35 for photos and media because this person, the owner, only uploaded one photo. And has anyone else uploaded anything other than this one? All right. All all right, this is just weird. I'm sorry, doctor. Is this a cake? Aren't you a dentist? Um, so this I don't know. Does this person even care about their online presence? I don't know how I would approach this. It's like I feel that if you try to tell them like, "Hey, you're not showing up on Google," and they'd be like, "I know, and I like it this way." And but even regardless of that, we still have the very first thing that says, of course, it's going to be a high impact and the effort will be high. But the very first thing this person needs to be able to do is create a website. And are complete business hours not set up? Business hours are not set up. Okay, see? So if we were to compare this to you or me doing this manually and making notes of it, and I have the business name, then I'm going to go into my Google Drive folder From here, I'm going to create a spreadsheet. I'm going to start adding the businesses that I think I can go to, add some notes about all of them. So this, it's annoying, it's boring. Nobody wants to do this. Even if you wanted to pass this off to a junior designer, do you even have a junior designer or even a VA? This is the insane benefit that you get in less than 3 minutes. And hopefully, Dr. Toussaint might someday find herself at the top of Google search results for dentist in Silver Spring. Now that I've done a use case scenario of a business that is showing up farther down in the search results, let's do another test with a dentist that's showing up on top. So I'm going to make the same search again, dentist near me, and then we're going to pick the first one that isn't from a sponsored post, meaning that through their organic efforts and not paying for ads through Google is how they're showing up on top. So let's see, City Place Dental. Let's just copy that. Let me just look at a glance. Okay, 4.9, 1,400 reviews. Yeah, they're way more busy. They have what seems to be a booking link. They have their website. They have their phone number. They have other metrics specific to the business owner. Let me copy this page, open up a new page, paste it again, and then copy this thing again because I replaced my clipboard. So now that I've copied that, I'm going to go back in, paste it, and obviously it's going to be the first one as well. And then let's scan this. While the search is loading, we can discuss a few other use case scenarios. How is it that you can use this free plugin? And what you can do with it is you can write thought pieces, thought articles, or go through your current blog posts and articles that you've already been writing. And then halfway through it or a little bit below the fold, include the short code and some contextual language that leads up to it so that it feels natural for your site visitors as they're skimming because they're not reading the article from beginning to end. But if there's any reason for them to have a dynamic button to play with, they're going to go to it because it disrupts the pattern and it's really valuable data that you're getting them. Once you get them excited or scared, terrified of what the results were, you can encourage them to scan their next competitor. And then this is where, from my earlier video where I talked about rate limits, why it's a great thing. One is because you're not having them abuse and just scan every other competitor around you. Maybe you do. Again, because if you upgrade to the premium, you're able to capture more of that market intelligence that starts to inform more of your content marketing strategy. So they be doing the work for you. However, you still want to set the rate limits so that it kind of gives them like a soft block if they're scanning too quickly, and then it encourages them to come back an hour, 3 hours, a day later, however it is that you have your settings, for them to be returning site visitors and for Google metrics and your analytics to take note of that. And it's going to improve your web performance because it's showcasing that your website is sticky. All right, let's look at City Place Dental. All right, they have a much better score. We were not able to get some mobile insights, and this looks a little sparse. There's a little bit of work that could be done with their website, or if the website just has poor architecture, that it just takes too long for the first page to load. If you just want to double check or allow them the opportunity to double check it, because you could be doing it on their behalf, or they could be doing it as they're organically arriving to your page, your landing page, or it could be part of your paid ad campaign. The reviews, it does have a lot of reviews, so that's a great signal. Again, this one it doesn't pick up all of them, but it does try to get a general sentiment, and it seems that the overall sentiment is overwhelmingly positive, and there's a reason why this person is showing up at the top of the organic search results for dentists near me. Let's see what else that they have. Their photos and media. All right, it seems like they do have quite a few that were uploaded by them. So you can see that it's giving me contextual locations, giving me the outside, the inside. It's giving me some staff members. It's giving the site visitor an opportunity to understand and give context to what this establishment is, which is a great signal that Google eats this shit up. All right, let's see how they optimize their business info. They only have one attribute. It's wheel. Okay, that's a good thing to tell people, I guess. But man, there's like you should have at least 15. And again, this is another gap that they could be approached with, and it could even solidify further their positioning in their local search results. What else can we look at? Competition. Who are their closest competitors? And okay, operates as an accessible community healthcare center with medical blah 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 blah. Boring, boring. I wouldn't go after dentists. This is so incredibly boring to me. Um, but this is great if dentistry is your vertical, and it contextualizes the biggest reach that your competitor has, or if it's you in that case, it will contextualize your effort with your closest ones, and it gives you a visual diagram to get a better sense of all these overall metrics that are being calculated, how they look at a glance. And you don't have to use every single one of these metrics. You should definitely go through them and see the pain point that speaks to your current skill set or your interest in wanting to help them or see what needs to be done. So, all right, this is not bad. Let's see what the query position. So it doesn't, okay, this is a little disappointing. It's a little strange. Maybe it really is just the massive amount of reviews that this person is getting that's showing how active they are and just how close I am to this dentistry. Because yes, I'm just surprised how well it's doing, giving the significant gaps that I see in usability and web performance. All right, let's overview, blah, blah, blah. I'm not really interested. Let's see what are the priority tasks. All right, launch review generation campaign for emergency care. Okay, so now it's been more granular as to you're doing well overall, but how about we start picking at like niche services within that? Because this is one of the reasons, if you go back to my other video when I was talking about restaurants, that if your account, your Google business profile account is not it's not optimized, then you are going to be compared to other generic parent categories of what restaurants would be. So this would be a disservice to you if you were a niche cuisine or a very specific type of service being compared against more general services. So here, if you were to approach this dentistry practice and talk to them about how is it that they do emergency care? What does that look like? How long does it take to be in returning customers? Or I'm sorry, I obviously don't work with dentists. You would be calling them patients. And you're the expert in this. I'm only providing the tools. But see how dynamic you're able to position this report, that it really does consolidate at least 30 minutes of effort. I can't think of a way that this would be much faster, quicker, without having to pay some insane subscription to a mainstream SaaS model. I won't name any names. You know who you are. And more importantly, that even though you're only using the free features from this plugin, there are other things that you could do to it to further customize the experience. So, for example, here, all this is a shortcode. So if I wanted to, I could just add, all right, how do I don't work with Gutenberg a lot. I work mostly with Divi, but I feel that would be a little too advanced for these initial videos, and I don't want to clutter the UI with other plugins that I also use. So let's say, I want to add a button, and then this button is going to be book a vibe check. And what this would be is that it's only going to, you can connect it to your, I don't have the link on mine right now. So let's say we can look into Calendly, right? And let me go back to this one and just copy the share report so I can open it in incognito mode. and see that yeah, this is fine. Allow it and see that I have the CTA here as well. So this would still be present. And as your site visitors are scanning and going through this information, they're hitting maybe two intense reactions. One, excitement about how well they're doing and how they want to maintain that or explore other options that would further solidify their positioning. Or we go back to our friend, Dr. Toussaint, who might be concerned about how poorly she's doing, and you don't have to tell her information that she might not already know. She might already know that she is not getting a good chunk or a decent amount or maybe any referrals through her online presence via Google. She's not getting found on that. So those are the two like strong emotions that people might have as they're going through this. And then the thing they would see at the bottom would be to book a vibe check to go directly to your Calendly or whatever scheduler you have and have them self book. And one of the great things is that whether they book you before or after they saw this thing, it doesn't really matter because you can still manually snag them and make sure they book a report. What I mean by that is like let's say that you had a different link in your on your Instagram and it was directly to your Calendly and they book it, they fill out the information like they always do, and then you get a notification and they have booked it 3 days from now or a day from now or an hour from now, however it is that you have your settings. What you can do, even if you have the free version of Calendly, you can just shoot them a quick message and run a report on their local business if they haven't already done so on their own, and then just share the link with them and say, yo, we're meeting in 3 days from now, but just before that, it would be really helpful for our conversation and make best use of our time if you review your report at a glance so that we can talk about it when you get onto that Zoom call with me. And that is just exponential value than just going back to these stupid static PDFs. I'm sorry that I'm cracking on them so hard, but I shouldn't. Why are we still seeing them? And I'm still seeing them. And until I no longer see them, I'm still going to be talking shit about them. Make those 3 minutes your advantage. And the way that you can make these 3 minutes into your advantage is that whenever it is that you go to these in person events, these networking meetings, meetups, you can have a short conversation and just do small talk, get to know them, find out what it is that's important to them. Don't jump into the business and offering what it is that you do or try to explain it. Just tell them what is the name of your business, have them look it up on their phone, and while that is being generated, you can keep having your conversation and continue to build that rapport so that by the time it finishes scanning, they can either check it out later or you can just have a quick conversation then and there. Cool, cool. That's how you leverage data, capture data, own data. And then in the next video, or maybe I don't know how many videos it may take, but it's going to take a few to go through all the premium features. The ones that are more important right now is going to be the lead form and the white labeling, so that when you have a site visitor that signals and raises their hand that they want to be followed up with by getting a copy of that report, they are going to be seeing only your name and only your brand, and it's going to feel like it's all proprietary. And it kind of is, because again, none of your data is metered. You own a copy of freaking insights, but the communication that happens between the data that you get from Google and Claude is just going to be between you two or three. Anyway, I'm not part of it. I don't want to. And so until next time, salud.